Last year, my wife and I traveled to Oaxaca, Mexico to attend a friend's wedding. We flew from Los Angeles to Oaxaca, connecting in Mexico City. We'd never been in Mexico City before. Unfortunately, we only got to see the airport, but we had a few hours of connection time, so we were able to grab some food, relax a little bit, and talk before our flight. About an hour into our connection time, I decided to just check in with one of the attendants about our flight to see what the status was. And after showing her my boarding pass, she said to me, "Your flight's closed. You've missed it. Sorry, you have to rebook." I was confused. I was, "What are you talking about? My flight doesn't leave for another hour and a half. Don't you see the time on the boarding pass?" I said, "Nope, your flight's closed. You're going to have to rebook. Go off to the customer service area and you have to get on a new flight." Well, as you can imagine, I was put in a state of shock as well as some anxiety. My emotional energy started going up, and my thoughts started racing, like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to stay tonight in Mexico City? Are we going to be able to catch another flight tomorrow morning to Oaxaca? And I ran over to my wife and I said, we missed the flight. She was, of course, shocked. She was just relaxing, so she thought we had another hour and a half before our flight was going to leave. And as we're wrestling with what to do, we then decided, let's just go to another attendant and see what we can do. So we ran over to another attendant that was a little bit closer to our gate. And we said, can we still get on this flight in any way? Is it possible? And they looked at our boarding pass and they said, oh, your flight doesn't leave for another hour and a half. You're fine. Of course, a wave of relief came over me, and my emotional energy, nervous system started calming down. I also felt a little bit frustrated that I got some bad information from the past flight attendant, but overall I felt relieved. That experience, though, illustrates a key concept in the field of mental health and psychology, which is called the window of tolerance. It was coined by Dan Siegel back in 1999. And this refers to what our emotional energy or nervous state is at in any given moment. So if you think of a graph of your emotional energy, and if you're in the middle area, we call that the green area, the area where you feel calm, you can think clearly, make decisions effectively. That area is called being in your window of tolerance. Now, of course, we get triggered. We get emotional triggers all the time in everyday life. So it's hard to always stay within that window of tolerance. And I likely did not stay in that window of tolerance when I got news of the flight being closed. There are typically two different ways people respond to emotional triggers that may take them out of the window of tolerance. The first way is where your emotional energy level goes up. In this situation, you're feeling a lot, maybe even too much. It's hard to calm down. You'll feel agitated or maybe angry, and you're pulled to confront someone about something or try to control the situation in some way. The second way that people typically respond to emotional triggers that takes them out of the window of tolerance is where your emotional energy level actually drops. And you're feeling too little in this sense. You might feel fatigued or powerless or stuck. And in this situation, you're actually pulled to withdraw from the situation or try to appease people in order to bring the temperature of the situation down. One of the goals of psychotherapy for many different clients is the idea of trying to widen your window of tolerance. And the reason you want to do that is then when emotional triggers come your way, you're not going to get pulled necessarily to go into that red area of not feeling like you can calm down and feeling too much, or into that blue area where you're not feeling enough and you feel stuck and want to isolate potentially. Building awareness of what your emotional triggers typically are from day to day, what the common ones may be, as well as asking yourself, where do I typically go? Do I go into that red area or do I go into that blue area? And how do I get back to green? Engaging in that type of reflection is one of the first steps to widening your window of tolerance, because building awareness is a key piece of how you begin to function better in life, make clear decisions, think more clearly, even with all the different triggers that happen to each of us every single day.